What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. And as some people in chat have pointed out, it's Friday the 13th. I do have an update on all the CPU drama that's been unfolding over the last couple of weeks. So I talked to the guy, Luke, who's one of the Big Tree Tech admins over Discord, decided to message him and be like, dude, listen, let's just talk because this whole thing's been blown out of proportion. Told him like, hey, we just posted something because people were having issues with the firmware because of these chips that were being swapped out. Just for the record, Big Tree Tech has admitted that these boards went out. They are citing that one of their distributors sent these chips out, or sent the boards out with these GD chips on them when they shouldn't have, and they are actually recalling them. So if you got one of those boards, you can contact them, and they'll either give you I believe it's a refund, or you can send it back and get one with an ST chip. The whole reason we posted anything was just to alert people that, hey, this firmware is not going to work on these because it doesn't work with these chips. They're not, 100% compatible with the STM stuff. And there's also potential legal concerns. We contacted ST and asked them for clarification. They said that they do consider the GD32 chips clones of their STM32 series. I would, personally have to agree with them. They're, Gigadevice, whether they're a legitimate ARM company, they are not licensed to use ST software. ST put the time and effort into getting software to let other people use the CPUs in their projects, and it's not really fair of another company to come along and, profit off of that. So we'll segue into license in a sec. So, the guy made some, terrible claims. I was really pissed off. He was also being hot-headed. He apologized, and I'm willing to give someone a second chance. So hopefully Luke and I will be able to have a dialogue now and figure out what we're going to do. And he did post a public apology, and I will show this to you guys. I had no intention of starting any drama over these processors. It was literally something I typed up, threw out on our social media, and went on with my day. I was going to revisit to see if we could actually get firmware running on these chips. That's all it was supposed to be. And he kind of took that and ran with it. So I will just show this here. Hang on one second. Sorry, I had to yell at the dogs to stop barking. Anyways, what was I saying? So I just want to share this. So he did type up a nice apology here. This is on his Twitter account, so you guys go ahead and do that. I did edit the live stream. It's editing right now, where I had my little montage of his tweets. I told him, like, dude, you should probably remove those, considering how sensitive people are these days about, joking about certain things online. And I also took the video down where I was highlighting his whole racism claims. So, I don't want any more drama and stuff. I just want to make firmware and sell printer parts. That's it. So, anyways, there you go. You can see his thing. I'll post a link to this. Don't be a dick to him. Maybe say something that you appreciate it, if you are going to tweet at him, but don't be a dick, please. I just want to get firmware working for printers. That's the whole reason I said anything, was to prevent people from downloading firmware and then complaining that it doesn't work, because people were telling us that it didn't work, and the reason was the processors. So, like I said, I want to give the dude a second chance. If he had told me when I said I'd like an apology, to pound sand, well, in that case, then yeah, nothing would have changed. So, I will add back in the config files for the SKRE3 boards, so we'll keep that firmware updated. But there is a notice now on those pages that if you have a GD chip, the firmware's not going to work. So the one thing I did want to talk about here is the licensing that's questionable, because right now you have the Maple. I had it open here. Hang on. I accidentally closed the folder. So the alternative was going to be to use Maple. Okay, Maple is an alternative library for the STM32 processors. Currently, currently, Platform is switching most boards aside from Maple specific boards. Maple is actually a brand of a board that a company makes that has STM processors on it, and they made this library for their boards originally. As far as I know, if I'm wrong, someone correct me, but I'm just going off of the information I've gathered, trudging through this. The weird thing is here, like I said, I pointed out another stream, like the last release was a beta in 2019, but you can see there are actually some commits here. It looks like this Steve Strong guy has, added commits, but there's no official releases. And it looks like Platform IO is taking like a snapshot of the GitHub at a certain point, which I think was November 2020, for the official support. So that's the package downloads. But what I want to drill in here and show you guys here, I believe it was, nope, not libraries, it's system. I had it open. Let me go back. Here we go. So under the STM32F1, we go to system, and then you go to libmaple and USB. And now you can see there is a README here, okay? And this README is just explaining what it does. And you can see here that on the to-do list, it says strip out ST code. So if we look at the actual files here that provide the USB functionality, or communication, I should say, between an STM F1 chip, which is what the SKR boards are using, which is what the, what's it called? The SKR boards are using, the Voxelab boards are using. They're compiling for Maple, Voxelab specifically. It looks to be compiling with Maple. The problem is, if we look at these files here, and these are what is the problem on the regular non-Maple firmware or framework, is right here. You can see right here, copyright 2008 ST Microelectronics. And you can see author here is the MCD application team, which is actually the team, I believe, who replied to us when we contacted ST. Now, this is an older version 221, and it's dated 2008. So this is quite an old library. Now, I was not able to find version 221 on STM's actual website, but I was able to find a later release, and you can see here the file names are the same for the difference. So we've got core, def, init, int is missing in here, but we've got lib, mem, reg, and then type. So it looks like they've added some more since. But just for a comparison here, if we open up the core files, you can see it is updated, but the same, oh, wrong one. Same thing here. It's got the author. They have a little bit of extra legalese in here and a copyright of 2017. Now, when you download this USB library from ST, there is a release notes file included. And if we go back up, it looks like this file was not included. What's this rules.mk? I just saw this is not it. So wherever he got this file from, I assume was an older version of this USB device driver, and this release notes file did not make it in there. Now the problem is this release notes file has license information here, and it says specifically that this is licensed under the Liberty license from ST. And if we click this here, we get the license agreement, and this has the same thing right here stating that you cannot use this software on any microcontroller or microprocessor that is not manufactured by or for ST Microelectronics. Now, GigaDevice is not licensed to use any of ST's code. You see here, SLA 0044. This is the license agreement I cited in our post on our website. And again, we can pull this up here and see again, you cannot use this on a non-ST product or product that was made for ST, aka it's licensed. So it looks like there could be still issues even with Maple. So the question is, what do you do? I don't think. I mean, right now, if what I'm saying is correct, that these Maple USB libraries from ST are also bound by that same Liberty license agreement, then printers shipping right now from companies like Voxelab that have these boards with Marlin loaded on it that are compiled with Maple are technically in violation of ST's license agreement. And, what do you do? because the Voxlab Aquila, as far as I know, has shown up with, I think, 3 different processors at this point. The GD32, the STM32, which is what all the early units show. So if you look up earlier reviews, and even the review that Tom Sedlander over at Tom's 3D posted, his had an STM chip in it. So when I purchased the Aquila, I was expecting an STM chip, but I got the GD clone. You know, and I'm open to trying the GD clones. I personally will not sell them. I'm never going to seek out a GD chip. Much would rather prefer something from STM or NXP or Atmel. I don't have any experience with them, and I don't like that these are clone chips. Even ST themselves, and we have it on our Twitter account, you can see they said they're clones. So, but there's a lot of stuff that are clones, and it could work, but it could not. It's a little sketchier with something as complicated as a processor. You know, you're not talking about like a nozzle or a heat break, a simple metal part. You're talking about an entire processor with silicon and stuff. So I'm going to test out the GD chips with the Voxlab, and I have to see what we're going to do about actually getting them supported, because I think if we are just putting out firmware for these boards, we aren't technically distributing the ST files. Those ST files that are the hang up here are downloaded on your computer. So when I post my firmware to our website, those files are actually not included. Your computer, when you run VS Code and compile, will download them from the Platform.io repository and then extract them to your computer. So you are technically the one that is downloading those files and then using them, and you would be the one then potentially violating that license agreement with ST. And the reality is ST is not going to come after individual people. The ideal solution would be is that GD steps up and actually supports their processors. You know, it's one thing to, you know, claim that they're compatible and all this other stuff, but if you want these chips to be adopted by, you know, the 3D printing community and be widely used on the boards, you're going to have to put some work in and put out proper libraries and get them integrated into Platform.io instead of using someone else's code, instead of stealing ST's code for use with your own stuff because you don't want to put the time or money into paying somebody to write your own USB libraries. You know, so that's where we're at. I'm going to keep testing with it because I want to see if they work. You know, and once I get a couple months, you know, 6-7 months on the Aquila with the clone chip, if I don't have any issues, I'll let you guys know. If I do, I'll let you know either way. I still highly prefer a name brand processors. I get the shortage stuff. I just don't like using clone processors. I do want to show here because I did do a poll. I'm going to pull this poll up. And it did get a decent amount of feedback. So I asked here on our YouTube community, do you care if a printer mainboard uses a name brand CPU on it? Name brand being parts from ST, NXP, and Atmel. Those are like the 3 big players we see on 3D printer boards, are ST, NXP, and Atmel. 67% of people said yes. Only 17% said no, and another 16% said they're not sure. So overwhelmingly here, people definitely seem to prefer having name brand processors on them. So I think that speaks for itself. I can tell you right now, we will not sell boards or printers that have knockoff chips in them or clone chips or whatever you want to call them. Which, you know, words are words, but, you know, at the end of the day, these parts are imitating, especially with GD Gigadevice, they're even imitating ST's model number. So it's kind of hard to make the claim that they're not clones when you're literally using their naming scheme identically, except for the first 3 letters. Instead of saying STM, you replace that with GD. So it's really hard to make that, oh, we're not cloning them when you're acting like that and labeling your products like that. You know, how would it be if, you know, AMD, you know, literally took Intel's exact part number and just changed the couple characters in the front and then called it their own? They'd get in trouble. So maybe not a direct comparison, but, you know, it gives you an idea of where I'm coming from with, you know, saying that they're clones. And like I said, ST themselves also said they're clones to us and to another person, to Olimex on their blog. So anyways, let's get into the stream here. Let's see, who's going to be our first question? Oh, this is interesting. Kobier said that he called out Crowley for buying reviews for the Crowley Cloud app. They kicked me out of the Ender 3 groups and blocked me on Facebook. Do you have evidence of that? Because that's really, really interesting. I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I get a lot of emails, and they're always from companies over in China that are like, if you leave a 5-star review, we will pay you with free product, and sometimes they'll even give you extra money on top of free product. So, I mean, behavior like that is unacceptable. My personal opinion on the Crowley Cloud is I don't want Creality having a device connected to my network because I don't know what it's doing. And I don't feel like having a potential security risk because I want to use their cloud app. In general, I'm a big, I wouldn't say opposition. I don't like all this cloud stuff. I do use quite a few cloud services, but personally, I try to keep everything as in-house and local on my network as possible. I have had bad experiences where I have had IP cameras that were Chinese branded IP cameras. They're just no-name brands I got on Amazon, and literally watches a guy from a Chinese IP address had a telnet session going to that camera and was using it to scan my network. After that, all of my IP cameras are now on an isolated VLAN. I'm not risking it. I want to know what's going on my what's it called? On my network. Let's see. Sorry, the pressure in my ears is all messed up. So if you see me do that and kind of inhale, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to fix it. Kobier says a Facebook post offering $25 Amazon gift cards or credit on the apps for a positive review. That's actually against the FTC guidelines. You're not allowed to do that. So, yeah, if you ask for reviews, it has to be unbiased. You can't just be like, we'll give you money if you leave a 5-star review. No, what you should do is, once you get the gift card, go and change it to a 1-star and let them know. Yeah, that's sketch. Deca Blue says he's got a CR10 V3 with easy ABL. Generally, things work fairly frequently. When I started printing the easy ABL, it starts to home all function, but doesn't actually move. And then when it's supposed to do the final Z home, it doesn't. It sounds like you might have, sounds like you might be on an older firmware version because there was an issue with certain boards. It was usually the 2560 base boards on the Ender 5 Plus. You have a CR10 V3, which would be a similar CPU. I would say update to the latest firmware, which should be 2.32, and that should have the fixes for that homing bug, because there was a bug where you would tell it to home all, and it would home X and Y, and then it wouldn't actually move Z to the center to home. You know, but if your printer is not moving off, if you're on the latest firmware and it doesn't actually move, you might actually have a problem with your board. So, like maybe a driver's failing or something. Because you do say here, if you reboot the printer, it usually fixes it. When you restart the printer, that's going to power cycle all the drivers. So if the driver went into protection mode, then it'll be a fresh start and boot it back up and ready to receive commands and do stuff until it detects another fault. So, but I would definitely recommend upgrading to the latest firmware because it sounds like the issue we patched into 2.32 release. I do want to mention, we did post an update. 2.32 does have a bug. It doesn't really affect many people. It's with the probe, the Z probe wizard. It doesn't actually show the menu item because of code optimizations. I glossed over that because it got moved in Marlin 2091. That will be fixed in the 2.33 release, which I should have out in about a week tops. I'm pretty happy with it. So, Carlos is asking, can I use a Nozzle X with a micro Swiss hot end? No, you cannot, unless they have a MK8 version. As far as I know, that Nozzle X, that's an E3D product. They're only offered in the V6 and Volcano styles. While the V6 has the same threads, it's too long. It will not work correctly. So make sure you get the correct one. If you're looking for, I believe Nozzle X, that's their coated one. We have a similar product that's actually a little bit cheaper than theirs as well, but we also carry them in the MK8 size, and those are called our Easy Flow nozzles. Those are copper copper heat treated nozzles with a nickel plating. So they're wear resistant and they conduct heat really well. Tommy was asking how the Easy Board is. Hopefully, unless there's any shipping delays, I should have the Easy Board V2s here to start testing on the final version on Tuesday or Wednesday. So on Monday, I was told 6 to 9 days. So we should be getting pretty close there. So Exile says, I have a feeling if the chip shortage doesn't get better soon, we'll see copy chips and all sorts of devices where the QA is questionable. Yeah, that's going to be a reality, especially in this market. So the thing is, you can get STM chips right now. They're just expensive. So what I don't understand is why these companies aren't just having higher prices on their boards like a lot of places are. You not only are dealing with a chip shortage now at this point, but our inflation's at like I think 5.6% or something ridiculous, which is insane. But I think it's a lot of compounding factors. If personally, like, we're going to start running our EasyBoard V2s, we're going to keep getting ST processors, and if we have to pay more for the processors, we're just going to have to raise the price on the board to cover the difference. That's just what you have to do. But I hold us to different, I hold ourselves, our company to pretty high standards. I don't want to use copy chips or clone chips or knockoffs or insert whatever objective. I'm not going to use that stuff on our products, and I'm not even going to sell boards with those on there. So if Creality boards start showing up with these chips on it, we will not be selling them. I only want to sell stuff that has name brand processor on them that we know that they work. So Justin Abel's asking about, do you have anything that helps with Z-Wobble? Z-Wobble is usually caused by mechanical issues on your printer, and the most common issue is either a bad lead screw coupler, maybe it's not put on straight, maybe it's just bent or defective, or the very, very most common one is your lead screw is bent. If your lead screw is bent, it's best to just get a replacement. I get replacement lead screws from Zyltech.com, Zyltech.com. And I get them from there because theirs are straight, and they also have, for like, I think it's like a $5 or $6 charge, they will cut it to whatever length you want, which is absolutely worth it in my opinion. So, Thank you, Boo's asking about his board, and if it is a driver issue, can they replace individually? No, you will have to buy a new board. The CR10 V3 has all integrated drivers. So let's see. Will's I can't say your last name, is saying he's got Unified 2 Ender 3 Max. Every first print from Power On, the printer does a filament unload reload. Is that the firmware or the G code? You should have your filament loaded before you start the print. Otherwise, what happens is if you start the print and then load the filament, it's going to load an M600. So you need to make sure your filament is loaded before you actually start the print. If you don't do that, what happens is it thinks the filament's out. It sends a command to the queue saying that the filament's out. And then once the heating cycle and stuff is done, it will go through a filament change. You should just make sure that your filament is in first to the filament sensor. And I think the Ender 3 Max has a filament sensor. Mine's all the way over there. I believe it did. Let's look that up. But yeah, Marlin's a little weird with that. If you start a print with the filament out and then load it during like the heat up, it's going to act weird and eject it. Yeah, the Ender 3 Max, that does have a filament sensor. I thought it did. I haven't played with mine in a while. Local Maker MI is asking, do you have a CR10 V2 Z-Axis sync kit? I do not. The easiest way for that, since that's a dual one, find I want to say a 700 millimeter closed loop belt, and 2 8 millimeter pulleys. I had some laying around here. I don't know what happened to them. But yeah, I'm trying to see here. Yeah, you guys saying that your filament unloads / loads when you first do it. I've never had that happen, but I also have my filament loaded before I start the print. I do know in the past when I didn't load my filament first, I would have it would do a filament change. So make sure you put your filament in before you start the print. Ram Design's asking about he says rebuilding his Chiron. He's got a direct drive Creality extruder and hot end. Oh no, I don't know why I'm yawning. What's up, Cyberdeck? Do you think it'd be an okay choice with the heater change to 24 volt? Yeah, I mean, that's a V-slot rail. You could put a Creality carriage and setup on there if you do all the changes. You're gonna have fun figuring out the pinouts on the like cable they have, because it's got that plug and they're all the same color except for like one. But yeah, so let's see. Yeah, Kyle. Tiny Machines carries belt link kits. I was actually on a site last week and I saw those. I believe he has ones for the CR10 V2. I think the one for the CR10 will also work on the CR10 V2 because the spacing between the uprights is the same. KY Guns and Radio is asking, have the NXP chips falling out of favor or just hard to get? So originally it was a shortage issue, but now on most sites like Mauser and DigiKey and Newark, if you look up the 1769s and the 1768s, they either have lead times of over a year or they say that they're discontinued. So I don't know if NXP has discontinued those. I did hear that they were supposed to be end-of-lifing those in 2024, but maybe they moved that up because of all the shortage stuff. I'm not sure. So Albert Drew is asking about the Chiron update. Oh, I have it plugged in here. So I finally figured out where we're putting the box, which is right here, below the secondary power supply. I will be shooting the video this weekend, which means they will be coming to market soon. One thing I did try, and we're trying this out, I'm hoping people don't, screw us over by doing this, and we're just trying it with one product. If you are someone that's looking for our Ender 6 LCD housing, because either you're international or you just want to print it in a different color or don't want to pay us to print it, we do have the STL file for download on our website. It's $5. It's for personal use only, so you can't be resharing it and stuff. But if you want to print it on your own, or you're international and you want to use our same housing, this housing is available for $4.99, and you just got to tell it, I agree to the terms, that it's for personal use only. You're not going to sell it, use it for commercial use or, share it online. So we're trying that out. We might, if this goes well and we don't see people abusing this and, having to chase down people who are violating that license agreement, then we'll start selling other STL files that we've designed for a couple bucks on our store. So also, if you've purchased like the Ender 6 housing right now and you want the STL file, if you've already physically purchased a print from us, just let our support team know and provide them with the order number. And I have given them the go ahead to give people who purchased the print from us the STL file. Let's say they got damaged or they just want to change the color. We will retroactively do that. So you just got to contact the support with the order number that the Ender 6 print you ordered from us was on, and they will give you a free digital download of the STL. So for the Chiron, I think I'm also going to try where if you buy the printed part, you'll also get the STL files on your TH3D account. So if you want to change the color or you break it or whatever, you have that. So we're going to start playing around with doing some more digital stuff. My main thing is, we do pay actual employees here to do the designs. I also do the designs, and our time is valuable and we have bills to pay. And my fear of selling digital files is they always end up online, whereas products that we were making and then printing here and selling the prints, we have control over the file. So we'll see how it goes. If it ends up being fine, we'll start doing it with more stuff. But if people start abusing it, we start seeing our STL files popping up on Thingiverse or other stuff, we will issue DMCA takedowns and go after them. And then we'll probably just stop selling them because it's not worth my time to go after people. So please don't abuse it. I'm trying to do something nice. It's a couple bucks and it covers our time. So anyways, yeah, let's see. But yeah, my personal goal for the Chiron, for you guys that are waiting on it, I want to have everything done by Tuesday, meaning the videos posted, the documentation posted, and the kits ready for sale. So there's a few pieces for it. There's the housing for the PCB case. I've got actual special spacers that M3s go through to bolt the housing that holds the PCB to the vent slots here. It's actually I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty impressed with how it all came together. And at this point, all the hardware's done. It's just got to do documentation. So, and the firmware's done too. So, anyways, let's see if there's any more questions in the chat. You guys are pretty quiet today. We only got 66 people watching, so it means we should have like 66 likes, right? Come on, I gotta do the YouTube thing. You guys gotta like, comment, and subscribe, and then hit that bell and ring the box, and you know, check out my Patreon and my Subscribe Star, and what other keywords did I not say? I need more. I think I need more buzzwords. I don't think I hit all of them in that. It's your boy here. So, do I ever sleep? I was up till 5 a.m. last night, and I got up at 11. So, not much. Kyle, I would recommend printing that with the little fingers up. No supports. They're all designed to print with no supports. So, OnlyFans. Yeah, OnlyFans. I think it's hilarious. I just learned that the Nero 3DP guy, he's like one of the Voron guys. His website is onlybenchies.com, and it goes to his YouTube channel. I thought that was hilarious. Oh, there is. I got a question for you guys, because I had a company reach out to us. We usually like spam this stuff, but it was kind of interesting. They're looking for resellers, and I want to try it out. So I got a meeting with them on Wednesday. To talk about their product. I don't know what the price point is, but it's a little desktop vacuum forming device. And I feel like a lot of our customers would probably be interested in that, because think about it. You could 3D print something and then vacuum form around it to do like packaging or to do like bulk molds. I don't know if that's something you guys would be interested in. I thought it was cool, and I was like, I'll entertain your little sales email. You know, because if we can make a little bit off of it and it's a good product, sure, we'll try it out. They only would want us to purchase like 20 units so we can see how it goes. I do have a teaser. Where is it? Where is the picture? What the heck? Oh, I'm sorting over only by online. I want to show you guys something here, because I think you'll enjoy it. I'm opening the images here. Yeah, I thought it was cool. I think a vacuum former would be cool. Like I said, I will entertain ideas for new products to add. Being a small business, we can be pretty agile. So you guys that are talking about Ender 5 and Dual Z kit, the cheaper kit that I had sourced from overseas did not work out. But I linked up with this guy in the US, and this is what we're working on right now. And I am getting these cut. We're going to do a run of 10 of them to see how they are. So this kit is going to consist of, and this is not the full printer, but this is like your back rail on your Ender 5. The front rail is not pictured here, but it'd be right there. This is going to be a full kit with the two, like all the hardware, all the smooth rods, lead screws, the motor, the splitter cables, the rod holders, this plate, the end plate for the front and back. And then this will actually, because during the installation, you'll take off that extra like 20 millimeter bracket that the stock rods and stuff come pre-assembled to. You'll actually gain about 20 millimeters on your Y, or up to, I should say, and this will mount the stock bed. So we're going to be doing this whole top assembly here. So this plate, this plate, this plate, this is all going to be laser cut here in the US, and then I'm sourcing the parts from wherever I can get them from. Probably going to be getting a lot of the little parts like the bearings and stuff from China, doing all the QC and packaging here. But we will have an Ender 5 Dual Z kit very soon. So we'll do a small run of them. Like I said, I'm getting 10 of them in. I'm going to steal one for myself. And yeah, so be on the lookout for that. And if they sell really quick, we'll do another run of them and we'll keep them in stock just like we have for the Ender 3 Dual Z kits. So the Ender 5 kit that I got from, a supplier over in China, I was not impressed with it. The quality was just kind of janky. The cost was really high for what it was. And I think these are going to come in right around like $130 to $140. The plate itself, like those metal parts that we're getting laser cut here in the US, are most of the cost of the kit because we're getting them made in the US. Surprisingly, if we got them made overseas, they wouldn't be much less cheaper just because of the raw materials and then the size to ship them over. So I'm a big fan of trying to get stuff made here. So it'll be like a little hybrid. So all the little hardware will be from wherever, but the main part will be made here in the US. So anyways, let's see. Exile's asking, will they send one of the vacuum formers for review? I'm going to try to get them to send me one because obviously I want to try it out before I sell it. If they're not willing to send me one to try out, and then make a decision after that, I'm not going to do it. So, I'm not sure what an E5P Dual Z. I have no idea what that is. I'm going to Google that. That did not come up with anything. Post a link in the Discord server. There's a live chat or a live stream section in Discord. Oh, Ender Extender has do they have one now for the 5? I haven't kept up with their stuff. Mark's a cool guy. I actually sell stuff to him. So let me see. Did he come out with a Dual Z kit? Let's see. Yes, he did. Is that the 5? Yeah, that's the 5. His is mechanical, so he's got one motor. Ours is going to have 2 motors driving it, so it should give a little more torque. The belt should work okay. But we're going to be right around the same price as his, and it's going to be a little more travel on the Y because of how we're going to have everything installed on there. So, yeah. Anyways, he's got one for the 5 and the 5 Pro. They both should be able to take the same thing. I don't know why he's differentiating between the 2 different models. That's interesting. Because I have a 5 and a 5 Pro, and all this stuff is cross-compatible. Does he say... Oh, because of the... So, I should probably give him a heads up because he's saying the 5 and the 5 Pro, the difference is the starts on the lead screw. He's actually wrong there because the 5 and the 5 Pro both came with different pitch lead screws. The earlier models came with the 4 starts, and the later models came with the 2 starts. And the difference is the steps per millimeter. The kit we're selling will come with 2 new lead screws. So regardless of what you had on the printer, you're going to have the correct matching lead screws with them. So it looks like his comes with 1 lead screw from what I can tell. Yeah, 1 lead screw nut. We're going to give you 2, and we're also including anti-backlash nuts as well. So I'm sure his kit works fine. I'm not going to talk bad about him. He makes good stuff. So, but we'll be right around the same price. And I think ours will be just a little bit better. So, but we'll see. Hey, if it works, use it. Let's see. Cyberdeck, did I ever get an answer about stiffer TPU or combo TPU PET G? I asked them about it, and they basically said Cyberdeck Cafe and I were talking about like a hybrid filament for like drone usage. And I was talking to Coax, and from what I understand, they said it's not, those 2 materials are not easy to extrude together. So basically it would be a pain in the ass to do. So it's not worth running it. But yeah. So let me see. I think that's all the questions. You guys are pretty pretty quiet today. Are you guys sleepy? I am tired today. I put 3 scoops of ball in here, and I'm still dragging. All right. So anyways, do you guys have any other questions? Because otherwise I'm going to give the doggos their good doggo snack. and wrap this up. You can see Clara's back there passed out. Right there. Boop. There we go. Just trying to boop her snoot. So, a crewmate question. What are you talking about? I think exclamation point cube crewmate is sus. Do you agree? I don't know what you mean. I mean, he's sitting there. He just changes color on his own. He's got his own free will. He just exists. Does my cube stuff still work? I'm assuming it does because the pattern is different. I know it takes a sec for Nightbot to process the webhook. Yeah, it still works. Yay, technology! Mike V said, I totally forgot, I missed this. He said, Creality has a 3D scanner called the CR01. That's interesting. I will have to look into that. How much are they charging for it? It doesn't say. It does not say. Man, their promo videos, I don't know, like they're super basic white dudes in their product videos. Like, I always laugh because it's like, did they go on Fiverr and do this? Like, they're like, bro. So yeah, they have a 3D scanner here. I mean, that looks pretty cool. I'd like to play with it. Look how happy he is to be scanned. He is so happy. See, the only problem with stuff like this is Creality sucks. Oh, Wi-Fi box. Creality sucks at software. They can barely get 3D printer firmware properly set up. That would be the thing. While this is cool, I would rather, I really need to do something that is like an open source project that has, standardized software. I was clicking on things. I mean, it looks neat, but I'd be curious to know how good the software is, and are they going to keep it updated? Their software for the belt printer was so bad. It was so bad, but at least you can use something else. Where's that? That's probably going to have to use their software. I saw someone asked another question. Pab TV, replacing versus splicing a thermistor. When I replace a thermistor, I will usually cut back in the wire harness about, 6 to 7 inches and splice it in. I don't ever replace the wire all the way back unless there's an indication that there's a break in the wire somewhere. Just make sure when you splice, so you got the two wires, stagger the splices so they're not right next to each other. But I always splice in. We don't ever, well, I shouldn't say not ever, but we don't usually replace the wiring all the way back unless we suspect that there's a break somewhere in the wire. So, Glazed Pineapple said that it's $704. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. She woke up when I booped. Yeah, I did. Look at her. She's so cute. Boop, boop. Clara, I'm going to get your nose. I'm going to get your nose. Okay, enough. They don't like when you tell them that you're going to steal their NOSE. Anyways, I feel... All right, I appreciate it. Derek, thank you for the $5 for Friday night's bourbon. Some bourbon sounds good tonight. Let's see. Question, what will my prints... Oh, what will my prints look better? Single barrel or single malt? I don't know. It depends on which other one has the higher alcohol content. Anyways, Glazed Pineapple sent a link in our stream, our live streams channel. Let's see here. Let's see. Do. Can I see? There it is. Sierra 3, got it. All right. Yeah, I think that's the link I got to. Yeah, Crowley3D.shop. Yeah, the turntable. Yeah, 704. Okay, I went to their regular site that doesn't have like the sales stuff. So, Dominic Rosetta, when I change my nozzle, I recalibrate my EZABL and reset the Z-OS. Is that always necessary? So, if you're not dismounting the sensor, you don't need to recalibrate it. So if you haven't taken the sensor out of the mount, I don't recommend recalibrating it. If you can mount the sensor back in the same physical location and get it close, you might not even have to recalibrate it. So if you mount it, if you had it 2 millimeters higher than the nozzle and you do it again at 2 millimeters higher than the nozzle, you're going to be close enough. You probably will have to reset your Z offset though. But recalibrating is not necessary. I don't usually do that. So just on the first home if you did dismount the sensor, after the first home, just, keep an eye on it when you tell it to home and make sure your nozzle doesn't touch the bed before the sensor triggers. So that's the important part, is not having the nozzle touch the bed before the sensor triggers. Stephen Pool's asking about Marlon as FL Sun Q5. I am not sure, and I believe that printer is a touchscreen, so good luck with that. Yeah. I would see if there's any people that made, like community firmware. I have been looking at, people have mentioned the Gyres Ender 3 V2 firmware. I have been looking at their source code. I'm looking to see how much of a pain it's going to be to merge his touch or his LCD editions into ours. I think I might be able to get around by wrapping all of his code for the LCD in a separate block that only gets turned on when the Ender 3 V2 is enabled. Because I would like to start adding more stuff and kind of aggregating all these little projects into our firmware. But the problem is trying to keep everything updated. So if Marlon does a new release and I have all these different code changes from, this branch and that branch and this branch, it gets really hairy trying to keep everything working when you update the core Marlon files. So, yeah. Anyways, I will wrap this up. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I am going to give the doggos their dingo sticks. I love how they just materialize as soon as I hit this. Steven, I'm not sure if an Ender 3 screen will work on there. I do not deal with FL Sun stuff at all. Okay, you gotta sit. Nope, he knew I was gonna tell him. Touch. Sit. Shake. Oh, no. Shake. That's one paw. Shake. Good boy. There you go. Okay, Clara, sit. Speak. Shake. Good girl. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys all have a good weekend, and I will see you guys on the next stream. Albert, Drew, how old are our doggers? Remo is just a little over 7 months. That's Remo, the darker one. He's 7 months old, almost 90 pounds. And Clara is about 2.5. Actually, a little more than that. She'll be 3 in March. She's about 75 pounds. So they are actually related. They have the same dad. Clara is spayed. Is that the correct term for the girls? So no incest doggos happening here. But they both have the same dad. Remo's mom was an all-black shepherd, and Clara's was your traditional black and tan. So that's why Remo's darker, and they are emojis. So no shirt giveaways today. I gave those all away. Those all shipped out. So if you guys want a shirt on the last stream, they are going out. Actually, I should have already left because it's almost 6. So USPS should have picked them up. So you guys have a good weekend, and I will talk to you all later. As always, happy printing. See you on the next one.